Well, hello my friends on YouTube. I'm John and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna have a look at this funny, entertaining and a bit baffling little guy. This is the CRKT or Cricket as some say. This is a CRKT Fulcrum II. And we'll take a look at it. This knife's claim for fame is this locking mechanism. Very entertaining and very different, and I'll just show it to you again. And this is of course mostly this knife's claim to fame, and again I have to ask why. If you take a different, I don't know, flipper, just a Kaiser knife I had lying around, that's how easy it goes, or it could be a thumb stud, very easy too. So what problem or issue does this knife solve? I don't really know, because yeah, you have very easy mechanisms in advance, and then you have this. And I'm quite aware, you don't have to tell me, this is a very old knife, but it's still out there, it's easily obtainable. It's not very cheap, but of course, as a novelty thing, it's quite interesting. As a collector's item, I think that's how I'm gonna review it, because they don't really solve the problem with that mechanism. But let's do it like a normal knife review, and then we'll get back to that later. This is for my channel and for my taste a little small knife, around 7.4 centimeters, and I'll put the imperial measurements in the text somewhere. And so it is a small knife for me, and we can do a quick size comparison with the Kershaw injection 3-inch. You can see it's smaller than that, and of course the 4-inch even smaller, of course. So that gives you an idea. It is a little knife. Blade is coated in some sort of titanium coating, I think, and we can see it's more or less like a spear point with a false edge on top here, or swedge, whatever you like to call it. It looks a bit like a spear point, and of course no edge on top here. And the CRKT logo, and the steel is HCR13 MOV. We have the fulcrum and even a patent, and that is patent is simply because of that locking system, which is designed by an American called, I forgot his first name, but his name is Comer, last name, and there's a set of very different opening mechanism. If we go down the handle, we have the bolster here, which is the one that can be moved, and we can take a look at that. It moves here, and it's 2 screws, and then I think it's some sort of FRN with a little bit of a pattern in. Looks a little bit like carbon fiber, but it definitely isn't. Chip down carry, which I don't like very much, and not much room under the pocket clip, but in return it has a very large point up here, which will grab literally everything you brush up against, I think. That's not a nice thing either. And this mechanism gives it a ton of blade play, up and down and side to side. Really nothing you can do about it, because let's see if we can see here, the knife is actually only attached in one side, so of course it will be very difficult to center it, and it will be very difficult to hold it as firm as if you had a pivot that went through on both sides. You could think that this side over here will hold the blade a little bit, but it's totally loose, so I can just take it off, and this would actually be the way to maintain your knife, to take, and you can see it has a ton of blade play here. But then I already showed you how you maintain it, and you do it just as easily the other way. You just put it over, and perhaps I should show you the inside of the mechanism when I have it open already. So inside here is a track that this little, I guess you could call it a pivot. It moves inside this to make that action, and you can just as easily put it together as I said, like this, and it's not like it's not locked up, but a lot of blade play up and down, side to side. But I guess that's the unfortunate consequence of this locking or this opening mechanism. And I'll just show it to you again. Really, this is not something you do just out of the pocket. You have to train a little bit, and then you can more or less open it like that. But it does have to wear in a little bit, and it's very stiff at the beginning, and you end up opening it like this. So I wouldn't recommend this as some sort of tactical, but because a lot of the time you might just hold it like this and then drop it. So they hollowed out this bolster. I don't know if that is to do something, but to make the action easier, but it doesn't really. So all in all, this is a knife I don't really understand. I think it's cool, but I definitely don't understand it. It solves some problems that we never had, and as a novelty, well, very interesting and funny. As a practical tool, I wouldn't trust it very far. This would definitely be a gentleman's or very light use knife for me. It is super sharp, so of course you can cut a box or whatever, but more than that, if some of you are thinking self-defense or whatever, I would go for something else. This is definitely not, though it looks like it, it's definitely not very tactical. I wouldn't trust it to hold up if you really were in a self-defense situation. I could rant on about this forever, but I think this knife just begs one question: why? And with this, have a nice day, evening, whatever it is in your country. Bye bye.